Yes. Okay. Sharyu Mataji, can tell?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Actually, our body got suffered from many disease conditions. We have pains, but in case of God, there is no such things.
Okay. Thank you. Yes,
Thank
Jayashri Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Lord can do anything by any organ, but like that he can eat prasadam also by his eyes, but humans cannot do it.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, Balraj Prabhu.
We are subjected to birth. Our body is subjected to birth and death. Lord's body is transcendental. It appears and disappears, manifests.
Also disease and all. Okay. Yes, thank you. Yes, Deepika Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yes, 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 Mataji.
Yes. Prabhuji, we can remember just 2 days thing, 3 days or a year ago things, but Lord, he remembers life after life. He knows what is the eternal form of each individual.
Yes, yes, this comes in Bhagavad Gita. Thank you. Okay, next, Rajapata Gopinath Prabhu, Mataji.
Lord can satisfy so many people at the same time.
Okay.
But if our things, if you satisfy one person, then it is not possible for us to satisfy so many people at the same time.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, Sandeep Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Am I audible, Prabhu?
Yes, yes, yes.
Prabhu. So, Prabhu, it's Sachidanand Vigraha, Lord's body, is that there is no difference between the body, mind, body and soul, and he can do anything from any part of the body and such, and it's not subjected to any material things that human body faces.
Yes, yes. Yeah, so Lord's body is made of Sachidananda Vigraha. That is important. Our body is made of gross elements. Yes, Mahadev Keshav Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. The Lord's body, Lord takes the different types of body. Lord take a different types of avatar in the form of a bear, in the form of crocodile, in the form of fish. But all are the not material forms. But and the conditional soul gets this body. These are the like a material. It diminishes. It diminishes after some times, and soul has to go to another body. But it is not like that in case of Lords.
Okay.
There is no difference between soul and body. It's like same things. Body and soul.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Soumya Mataji.
Lord's body is not subjected under 3 modes. Karmas.
Okay. Yes, yes. Nice. Thank you. Okay. Sharyu Mataji, you want to add something?
Yes, Prabhuji, and Lord can choose his body by his own choice.
Okay.
But we cannot choose our body.
Yes.
It
Yes.
is.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Very nice points.
Can I continue, Prabhu?
Yeah. Just a minute. Yes, Prabhu. Now you can continue.
Yeah. The Lord's worshipable form, Archa Vigraha, which is installed in the temples by authorized acharyas who have realized the Lord in terms of Mantra 7, is non-different from the original form of the Lord. The Lord's original form is that of Sri Krishna, and Sri Krishna expands himself into an unlimited number of forms such as Baladeva, Rama, Nrsimha, and Varaha. All of these forms are one and the same personality of Godhead. Similarly, the Archa Vigraha worshipped in the temples is also an expanded form of the Lord. By worshipping the Archa Vigraha, one can at once approach the Lord who accepts the service of the devotee by his omnipotent energy. The Archa Vigraha of the Lord descends at the request of the Acharyas, the holy teachers, and the works exactly in the original way of the Lord by virtue of the Lord's omnipotence. Foolish people who have no knowledge of Sri Ishopanishad or of any of the other Shruti mantras Consider the Archa Vigraha, which is worshipped by
pure
pure
devotees.
devotees, to be made of material elements. This form may be seen as material by the imperfect eyes of the foolish people or Kanishta Adhikaris, but such people do not know that the Lord, being omnipotent and omniscient, can transfer matter into spirit and spirit into matter as he desires.
Yes, so here Prabhupada is quoting the example of Archa Vigraha to demonstrate the omnipotence of the Lord. That even through the deity, Lord can reciprocate with the devotees, can listen to the devotees' prayers and reciprocate with them and accept their worship. Yes, Prabhu, you can continue.
In the Bhagavad Gita 9.11-12, the Lord regrets the fallen condition of man with little knowledge, who deride him because he descends like a man into this world. Such poorly informed persons do not know the omnipotence of the Lord. Thus, the Lord does not manifest himself in full to the mental speculators. He can be appreciated only in proportion to one's surrender to him. The fallen condition of the living entities is due entirely to forgetfulness of their relationship with God. In this mantra, as well as in many other Vedic mantras.
So Prabhupada is saying that's what, especially with respect to deities. So those who consider them as just material objects, so Lord does not manifest to them. But for those who have faith in the deity form and sincerely worship them, Lord reciprocates. At sadhaka level, it may be as by purifying one's heart, but when somebody is advanced, then it can be more personally reciprocation. Next, Prabhupada is describing the last one that is described, that Lord has been fulfilling the desires of the living entities from time immemorial. Yes, Prabhupada, can continue in this mantra.
In this mantra, as well as in many other Vedic mantras, it is clearly stated that the Lord has been supplying goods to the living entities from time immemorial. A living being desires something, and the Lord supplies the object of that desire in proportion to one's qualification. If a man wants to be a high court judge, he must acquire not only the necessary qualifications, but also the consent of the authority who can award the title of high court judge. The qualifications in themselves are insufficient for one to occupy the post. It must be awarded by some superior authority. Similarly, the Lord awards enjoyment to living entities in proportion to their qualifications. But good qualifications in themselves are not sufficient to enable one to receive awards. The mercy of the Lord is also required.
Yeah, just a minute. So even like somebody may read law books and all, but unless one proves one studies in a authorized university and he appears for exams and clears those exams, and he has good conduct in the university, etc., and then only he will be awarded the degree. And again, to get a job also, so the degree also may not be just sufficient. One has to demonstrate his skills and expertise. So based on that only he will be given the job. So it's not just possessing the skills or knowledge is sufficient, but he has to prove, and he has to, by proving that he has to get authorization of the authorities. So then only he will be given job. So similarly, we may have many desires, but unless Lord sanctions it, it will not be fulfilled. Yes, bro, can continue.
Ordinarily, the living being does not know what to ask from the Lord, nor which post to seek. When the living being comes to know his constitutional position, however, he asks to be accepted into the transcendental association of the Lord in order to render transcendental loving service unto him. Unfortunately, the living beings under the influence of material nature ask for many other things, and they are described in the Bhagavad Gita 2.41 as having divided or split intelligence. Spiritual intelligence is one, but mundane intelligence is diverse. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 5th chapter, 30-31, it is stated that Those who are captivated by the temporary beauties of the external energy forget the real aim of life, which is to go back to Godhead. Forgetting this, one tries to adjust things by various plans and programs. But this is like achieving what has already been achieved. Nonetheless, the Lord is so kind that He allows the forgetful living entity to continue in this way without interference. Thus, this mantra of Sri Isopanishad uses the very appropriate word yata tatyataha, indicating that the Lord rewards the living entities just in pursuance of their desires. If a living being wants to go to hell, the Lord allows him to do so without interference. And if he wants to go back home, back to Godhead, the Lord helps him.
So here in
God
this
is
paragraph, just a minute. So Prabhupada is describing about the kind of desires living entities ask. So generally living entities ask material things from the Lord, but material things, they don't make them really happy. And those who are inclined towards getting material things, they're always confused because different things appear valuable at different times. So in that way, so this verse which Prabhupada is referring is Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kuru nandana Bhushaka anantasya bhudaya avyavasayana. So those who are after materialistic things, they're always confused because different material objects appear valuable at different times. Initially, some may think career is good, otherwise something we should have good family life or should have comfortable house. So always they are like confused. But those who are focused on spiritual things, they are very focused and they always aim for pleasing the Lord. Prabhupada is also quoting the Prahlad Maharaj, Punascharvita Charvanana. It's like again chewing the chewed. Because previous life also they wanted material things. That's why they got again another material body. But again they are still asking for material things. So that way. Okay. So here Lord is described as one who grants different desires. So you can think again, you can take around 5 minutes and you can think about instances from Shastra where devotees asked material desires from Lord. And again, instances from Shastras where devotees only asked for pure devotional service. Then we will discuss. Okay, so for the first one, where devotees asked material desires from Lord. Okay. Okay, Jiva Jagatak Mataji, continue.
Prabhuji, Dhruv Maharaj.
Okay, Dhruv Maharaj, yes, good. Thank you. Okay, Sharyu Mataji.
Also the Hiranyakashipu asked for the body that cannot be killed by anyone or under any condition.
Achha, okay, of course, here we are talking from the Lord and specifically for devotees, but okay, fine, it's a good example. Okay, okay, Vrajpati Gopinath Prabhu, Mataji.
Maharaj Anga asked for the son from
Okay,
Vishnu.
okay. Yes, yes, thank you. Okay, Avinash Prabhu.
We have heard so many stories about Indra asking for protection for his heavenly kingdom.
Yes, yes, correct. Yeah, he asked weapon to kill Vritrasura like that. Yes, thank you. Mahadev Keshav Prabhu.
Prabhuji, I just wanted to know the Sugriv ask Ram to help me to get his wife back from the Valley. This is one example, and another is the Satyabhama is asking a flower from Indra's garden.
Okay. Yes, yes. Thank you. Vidita Mataji.
Prabhuji, first would be Dhruv Maharaj and second would be Kunti Maharani.
Kunti Maharani, what did she ask?
Kunti Maharani, she asked for this pure devotional service by Kunti Maharani's prayers.
Achha, but we are asking question. Discussion is about asking material things from Lord. Okay, fine, no problem. Dhruv Maharaj is correct. Thank you. Okay, Deepika Mataji.
Prabhuji, where we have heard the story where Karda Muni asked Lord, he done tapasya and then he asked for getting married.
Yes,
and then Kapil Deva has come, Lord Kapil has come. And for second, we have Dhruv Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj, where he asked for devotion service.
No, Dhruv Maharaj is, we are discussing about material desires. Okay, so that will answer second one. Okay, Ashish.
Yes, Prabhuji, second only.
Prabhuji, Gajendra.
Okay, Gajendra asking for protection is also.
Yes.
Soumya Mataji.
Prabhuji, Diti asking, praying for the, kids who can kill.
Indra.
Yeah.
Indra. Yes, yes, correct. Thank you. Okay. Okay, now for second
Prabhuji,
one.
Can we say Arjuna was also asking for material desire to not fight on the battlefield?
That actually, he's relating with Krishna as a friend or as a guide, not exactly as the Lord in that context. So it may not fall exactly like that. Okay. Okay, yes. Jiva Jagtat Mataji for second one.
Prabhuji, Amrish Maharaj.
Amrish Maharaj, yes. Okay. Okay, Pushpa Mataji.
Sant Tukaram Maharaj.
Okay, fine. Okay, Balraj Prabhu.
Hanumanji, when Ramji asked that he wants to always have his name recited and glories everywhere. Hanumanji asking, when Lord Ramchandra asked Hanuman, he said, like, I want to recite your glories all over.
Acha. Okay, thank you. Okay, Rajpati Gopinath Prabhu.
Suklambar Brahmachari, Kolavacha Sridhar.
Acha, yeah, nice. Okay, Mahaprakash. Mahadev Keshav Prabhu.
Prabhuji Bhakti Vinod Thakur asked Jagannath Ji to give me a son who can spread the holy name in all over the world or do the prachar of Gauravani.
Yes, yes. Okay. Yes, it's a spiritual message. Okay. Rajpati Gopinath Prabhu, more? Okay, Avinash Prabhu.
Prabhu, Kunti Devi asking for material calamities so that she should be able to remember Krishna always.
Yes, yes. Okay. Thank you. Vidita Mataji.
Prabhuji, Gopi is praying to Kantaini Devi for pure devotional service.
Okay, fine. Of course, we are asking from Lord, but okay, fine. Also appropriate. Thank you. Okay. So, Lord fulfills desires, and we need to know which desires to ask and which not to ask. So, accordingly, we should, by reciting, by studying the prayers of pure devotees in Bhagavatam and also Vaishnava songs, we will understand what to ask from the Lord. And also from Bhagavatam and all, we will also understand what not to ask. Yes, Brajpati Gopinath Prabhu can read this. God is described here as.
God is described here as Paribuhu, the greatest of all. No one is greater than or equal to him. Other living beings are described here as beggars who ask goods from the Lord. The Lord supplies the things the living entities desire. If the entities were equal to the Lord in potency, if they were omnipotent and omniscient, there would be no question of their begging from the Lord, even for so-called liberation. Real liberation means going back to Godhead. Liberation as conceived by an impersonalist is a myth, and begging for sense gratification has to continue eternally unless the beggar comes to his spiritual senses and realizes his constitutional position. Only the Supreme Lord is self-sufficient. When Lord Krishna appeared on earth 5000 years ago, he displayed his full manifestation as the personality of Godhead through his various activities. In his childhood, he killed many powerful demons such as Aghasura, Bakasura, and Sakatasura, and there was no question of his having acquired such power through an extraneous endeavor. He lifted Govardhan Hill without ever practicing weightlifting. He danced with the gopis without.
Yeah, just a minute.
Sorry.
Okay. So, so here Prabhupada described about how Lord is only greatest and Lord is only self-sufficient. So that shows all our talents, skills, no, they actually does not fully belong to us. They are awarded by Prakriti. And if we see also, whatever we possess and all, we learned it from our teachers and also inspired by parents. So whatever material knowledge we have, it's all we learn from teachers. Even spiritual knowledge also, we learned from Shastra, our acharyas and other devotees. So sometimes, and the fact is sometimes we may forget that knowledge also when we actually need it. So that is one of the symptoms of that. No, it actually does not belong to us. Bhagavatam describes this example of Arjuna who forgets all his skills when he is attacked by the tribal people when he was carrying the queens of Krishna. So Arjuna says, I have the very same Gandiva bow, the same arrows, the same chariot drawn by the same horses, and I use them as the same Arjuna to whom all the kings offer their due respects. But in the absence of Lord Krishna, all of them, at a moment's notice, have become null and void. It is exactly like offering clarified butter on ashes, accumulating money with a magic wand, or sowing seeds on barren land. So all of them, they did not work that time. Only Krishna can claim that all his talents belong to him, etc. So whatever our talents are given, they are given for some purpose, and if we use it in that purpose, then it will be beneficial for us. Like even if you see police and all, they are given their revolver, service revolver and all, but again it will be taken at time of retirement. So ours also, our talents and all will go away. By old age it may go away, or worst case at the time of death it will be go away. So it's like that. Yes, next Prabhupada is discussing the qualities of Shuddham and Apapaviddham. Yes, Pro, we can read.
Only the Supreme Lord is self-sufficient. When Lord,
From here, he danced with the gopis, that paragraph.
he danced with the gopis without social restrictions and without reproach. Although the gopis approached him with a paramour's feeling of love, the relationship between the gopis and Lord Krishna was worshipped even by the Lord Chaitanya, who was a strict sannyasi and rigid follower of disciplinary regulations. To confirm that the Lord is always pure and uncontaminated, Sri Ishopanishad describes him as Suddham, antiseptic, and Apapaviddham, prophylactic. He is antiseptic in the sense that even an impure thing can become purified just by touching him. The word prophylactic refers to the power of his association. As mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 9.3, 9.30 and 31, in the beginning, a devotee may appear to be Sudurachara, not well behaved, but he should be accepted as pure because he is on the right path. This is due to the prophylactic nature of the Lord's association. The Lord is also apapa with them because sin cannot touch him. Even if he acts in a way that appears to be sinful, such actions are all good, for there is no question of his being affected by sin. Because in all circumstances he is Shuddham, most purified, he is often compared to the sun. The sun extracts moisture from many untouchable places on the earth, yet it remains pure. In fact, it purifies obnoxious things by virtue of its sterilizing powers. If the sun, which is a material object, is so powerful, then we can hardly begin to imagine the purifying strength of all the powerful Lord.
Okay, yeah. So, so first is Lord is not affected by sin, and Prabhupada gave the example of the pastimes with gopis. So Lord does not have any desire to enjoy them. They want the Lord to reciprocate as a lover, and Lord reciprocated with them like that. So they want to serve in that way as maid servants, and Lord accepted their service. That's all. So Lord does not have any materialistic or selfish desire to enjoy them. And another thing is apapa viddham. That is apapa viddham, and shuddham means how Lord can purify others. So the devotees, like in the initial times, there will be some material contaminations and all, but because of their worshipping Lord, they get purified. So that way, Lord's association purifies everyone. And examples like Guha, Garuda, and all. Though externally they are sinful, like Garuda is a meat-eating bird, carnivorous animal. Guha is also his tribal, means he has different eating habits and all. But still, because their pure devotional service is unaffected, because Lord means they are not affected by those activities. Their devotional service is not affected by those activities. Okay, you can take it. We will do this exercise. Or we will do. Okay, you can take maybe around 5 minutes, and you can think about these examples of sinful people getting purified by Lord's association, and sinful people getting purified by pure devotees association, and example of sinful people not getting purified, though they have association with the Lord, but they did not get purified. And also examples of sinful people who did not get purified by pure devotees association. Okay, so based on these examples, you can come out like how as devotees, how we can get more purified, what all we can do. Yes, Jiva Jagtap Mataji, you can tell for the first question. Give examples where sinful people got purified by Lord's association.
Yes, Prabhuji. Ajamil.
Ajamil, of course, Lord did not associate directly.
Like Vishnu Tooth.
So that's what it comes in the second question, second answer.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Radhika Gopika Mataji.
Prabhuji, Jagai Madai.
Jagai Madai, yes, thank you. Soumya Mataji.
Prabhuji, thief in Vrindavan, that thief in Vrindavan who comes.
Okay. That he had seen Bhagavatam class. Okay.
And Dhruv Maharaj also.
Dhruv Maharaj. Okay. Sandeep Prabhu.
Prabhu, the demons who came to Vrindavan, like Putana,
yes,
and many,
Putana
and also,
Nagasur.
I was also thinking, okay, maybe others can contribute.
Okay, Pratik Prabhu, Mataji.
Prabhuji, in Chaitanya Leela, Chandkadi got transformed by associating with Mahaprabhu.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, now for the second one. So examples of sinful people getting purified by pure.
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Yes, bro.
Yeah, when the for second question is like when Prabhupada went to US preaching. So there are different, they have, so they are got purified and become.
Yes. Fine. Good. Nice example. Thank you. Okay, Mahadev Keshav Prabhu.
Prabhuji, the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and his Guru Maharaj, I think, stayed in one of the temple, and that temple is under the ghost. That ghost get purified by their association. There is story one.
Achha. Okay, nice. Thank you. Okay, Jiva Jagtap Mataji.
I don't know the name of the lady who got purified with association of Haridas Thakur.
Achha. Okay, that Laksha Hira.
Yes. Thank you.
Vidita Mataji.
Prabhuji, Ratnakar got purified by association of Narad Muni and Valmiki.
Yeah, Valmiki. Yes, thank you. Next, Pushpa Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Mataji said, na? Valmiki.
Valmiki, yeah. Okay, yes, thank you. Next, Balraj Bro.
Rigari getting purified by Narad Muni.
Yes, thank you. Sharyu Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhundukari, he got purified by Gokarna, as Gokarna arranges Bhagavad Gita for
Yes. Thank you. Okay, Soumya Mataji.
Prabhuji, Chitraketu Maharaj.
Chitraketu Maharaj. Okay, fine. Ashish Prabhu.
Prabhu, when Hanuman enters Lanka, there was one Rakshasi, I think Lankini.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
I think that she was.
Yeah, she becomes little more sattvic. Earlier, she was arrogant.
Supportive, supported
Hanuman. Yeah. Okay, in that way. Okay, Shashwati Mataji.
Prabhuji, Jagai and Madai.
Okay. Of course, you want to say Nityan Prabhu. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Mahadev Keshav Prabhu.
Prabhuji, Shabari Mata is the association of his gurus.
Okay. Yeah, fine. Thank you. Okay, now for the third question. Sinful people who had Lord's association but did not get purified.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prajapati.
Yes,
Duryodhana, we can say, Prabhu.
Yes, correct. Duryodhana saw the universal form of Lord and all, but did not get purified. Okay. Jai Shri Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Shishupal, Prabhuji.
Shishupal, okay. Soumya Mataji.
Prabhuji, Dhritarashtra. Ravana.
Yes. Sandeep Prabhu.
Who in Ramayana, Kaikeyi, Shakuni, Kaikeyi Meli,
Yes,
and Mahabharata.
Okay, but later she. Ashish Prabhu.
I had example of Ishopal only, Mataji already told.
Okay. Avinash Prabhu.
Prabhuji, Hiranyakashipu.
Yes, fine. Okay, thank you. Pushpa Mataji.
Kans, Prabhuji.
Comes, okay. Tejashri Mataji.
Rukmi, Jarasandh.
Okay, thank you. Jiva Jagtap Mataji.
So just gonna say Jarasandh.
Who? Okay.
Jarasandh.
अच्छा Jarasandh. Okay. ठीक है. Rajpati Gopinath, some more example. Yeah.
Prabhuji, can Jarasandh be? Sorry, Ashwatthama. Like.
Okay,
Did not get.
Yes, fine. Okay, Mahadev Keshav Prabhu.
Prabhuji, I'm not getting the name of the devotee, but the devotee who stays with the Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji, and whenever Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji comes to the eating prasad at the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house, and he what is the name of the Zawai of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya? What is the name?
Amogha. It's son-in-law, no? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, now for
Prabhuji, can we say Shakuni also? Shakuni?
Yeah, fine. Of course, he did not specify. Of course, he also saw the universal form. Okay, some examples of sinful people who did not get purified by pure devotees association. Not with Lord, but okay, Mahadev Keshav Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Okay, fine. Okay, Jai Shri Mataji.
Kauravas and Pandavas, Prabhuji. Although the Pandavas are pure devotee of Lord, Kauravas never purified.
Okay, yes, thank you. Deepika Mataji.
Hiranyakashipu, Prabhuji.
Okay, Prahlad.
Yes.
Next, Rajpat Gopinath Prabhu Mataji.
With this one, we can say Dhritarashtra, right? Instead of Vidura many times, but at last event. So we can say this Dhritarashtra is okay.
Yes, fine.
Yeah,
okay, Balraj Prabhu.
Nalkuver Muni.
Nalkuver and okay, fine. They are with Rajvasis. Okay. Sandeep Prabhu.
I was thinking about teachers of Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu also.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Pratik Prabhu and Mataji.
Prabhuji, Kailash, he got association of Narad Muni.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Thank you. Jiva Jagtar Mataji.
Prabhuji, Kamsa got association of Akrur, but still he did not get purified.
Okay. Thank you. Soumya Mataji.
Prabhuji, Ravana, he got association of Vibhishan, still he.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Now for the fifth one. So, so how we can get more, and we are sadhakas, so how we can increase and improve the way we are getting purified. Yes, Radhika Gupta Mataji.
Prabhuji, by serving the devotees and pure devotees whenever we get the opportunity.
Yes. So by getting their mercy, we also get Lord's mercy. And we'll get purified. Okay. Any other? Yes, Rajpat Gopinath.
Yeah, like I can say as a initial devotee, like we can say like whatever Prabhupada has given, like if you strictly follow the morning program, sometimes like I may follow, sometimes will get neglected. So attending Mangala, Tulsi Puja, then attentively chanting the rounds during like before 7 a.m. and reading the scriptures regularly. Like so what are the things Prabhupada has given that can and hearing from pure devotees.
Yes. Okay. Balraj Prabhu.
Wording Vaishnava Prad.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Sandeep Prabhu.
Prabhu is strictly following instructions of Guru Maharaj and serving the devotees and the Lord basically most of the things what devotees said are covered in those.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, Mahadev Keshav Prabhu.
Prabhuji, by remembering the Guru's pastimes, pure devotees' pastimes, contemplating on them, and how they deal with the different situations, by just remembering and can think.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for various points. So, yes. So Lord is pure and Lord can purify us. So we need not be discouraged by if we encounter some anarthas or if we face some challenges. So Lord has the full potency to purify us, and to access that potency of Lord, we should have the right, we should be sincere and we should have the right disposition. So then we can take advantage of Lord's mercy and we can get purified. Lords as well as devotees, both. Okay, so so in this verse we saw like the different qualities of Lord. Here it also applies more to Brahman also, not just Bhagavan form, more specifically to Brahman, because that Bhagavan form description has not yet come. But can be also attributed for the Lord, for Bhagavan form also, as Prabhupada described. Okay. Now in the next verses, next 3 verses, there is discussion about knowledge, and then in the next 3 verses there is description about worship. So once the flow, yeah, I think I have discussed the flow. So now we know who is the Lord. So how to attain the Lord? So first one is one should have the knowledge, and then one should apply the knowledge in proper way, which is worship. So that in that there is a description. So this is the first verse in the knowledge. So here one type of knowledge, so 2 types of wrong knowledge are described. Okay, Pro, so you can recite after me. Andha tamah pravishanti ye avidyam upasate.
Andam tama pravishyanti ye vidyam upasate.
Tatho bhuya ivate tamo ye vidyayam rata.
Tato bhuya ivate tamo ye vidyayam rataha.
Yeah. So, translation: those who engage in the culture of nescient activities shall enter into the darkest region of ignorance. Worse still are those engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge. So, Prabhupada will describe what are that so-called knowledge. So avidya here refers to the wrong knowledge. Wrong knowledge means what? Sinful activities, breaking 4 regulative principles, and disturbing others and all, like terrorism, etc. And here vidya. So vidya refers to the wrong knowledge in guise of useful knowledge, which is basically modern education and also demigod worship in some way. Depends upon how the demigod worship is represented. So that we will discuss. So avidya, like a, if you compare little grossly, it's like a pornographic film, because everyone knows that it is not good and all. But vidya, like some good film with some dirty songs. So it's like it appears very important, good, but there is poison inside it. So that is vidya. So means vidya, which is being referred to in this verse, not vidya in general, but yeah. Yes, Pro, you can read the purport. This mantra offers.
This mantra offers a comparative study of Vidya and Avidya. Avidya or ignorance is undoubtedly dangerous, but Vidya or knowledge is even more dangerous when mistaken or misguided. This mantra of Sri Ishopanishad is more applicable today than at any time in the past. Modern civilization has advanced considerably in the field of mass education, but the result is that people are more unhappy than ever before because of the stress placed on material advancement to the exclusion of the most important part of life, the spiritual aspect. As far as Vidya is concerned, The first mantra has explained very clearly that the Supreme Lord is the proprietor of everything, and that forgetfulness of this fact is ignorance. The more a man forgets this fact of life, the more he is darkness. In view of this, a godless civilization directed towards the so-called advancement of education is more dangerous than a civilization in which the masses of people are less educated.
Yeah, so if we compare from the previous state of affairs and current, the education has improved and all, their facilities, material advancement has improved, but in terms of emotional health, suicide rate, divorce rate, and in terms of violence, and so it is more. Prabhupada used to say why the hospitals are increasing, which shows that people are unhappy. So, yes. Okay, he can read of the.
Yes, bro. Of the different classes of men, karmis, jnanis, and yogis, the karmis are those who are engaged in the activities of sense gratification. In the modern civilization, 99.9% of the people are engaged in the activity of sense gratification under the flags of industrialism, economic development, altruism, political activism, and so on. All these activities are more or less based on satisfaction of the senses, to the exclusion of the kind of God consciousness described in the first mantra.
Okay, just a minute. So, yeah, so this economic development, altruism, political activism, so which means philanthropy and charity, but still they have their own selfish motives. So this is one video which shows how even the so-called philanthropy also has hidden motives.
In January 2010, an earthquake devastated Haiti, this island nation in the Caribbean. It lost 200,000 people. The tragic images moved world leaders. They sent aid to rebuild the country. The US alone donated $1.3 billion, but only a fraction of this money reached Haiti. Surveys show that NGOs in this country received just 0.9% of the aid disbursed. Where did the rest of the money go? It stayed within the United States. Most of it went to private firms. It's not clear how they spent the money or if it left the US at all. The result is this. Haiti continues to struggle. 100,000 people remain internally displaced. Most of them are still in refugee camps. The infrastructure is in a shambles. Public services have hardly improved. And stories like these make you wonder, where does aid money really go? The billions of dollars that NGOs receive, the funds that governments set aside for the poor, the relief packages that world bodies promise, how exactly is all of this spent? Does the money even reach the intended recipients? Or is it lost in distribution? Hello and welcome to Gravitas Plus. I'm Palki Sharma Upadhyay, and this may sound offensive, but humanitarian aid has become a bit of a farce. Besides generating publicity for the donors, besides helping countries enhance their soft power and perhaps helping world bodies sell some merchandise, what impact does it have? Most of the aid does not even reach the people it's meant for. And there's data to support this. Audits have shown that 1/5 of foreign aid never leaves donor countries. It either remains in their banks or is given to their NGOs and not to those who need it. And before I give you examples, let me say this here. We're in no way trying to undermine the work done by NGOs or humanitarian bodies. Some of them have contributed significantly. They do provide life-saving assistance. They do help reduce the impact of crises on communities. The aim of this report is to question governments and global bodies that have turned aid into a business model, a model that benefits their own interests more than the recipients. In 2011, developed countries raised $100 billion in funds. This was foreign aid to be given to the developing world, $100 billion. Out of this, $22 billion were never transferred. The same year, Italy raised $2 billion, but only $300 million of this left the country. The rest remained in Italy. In 2019, another report was released. It said 25% of aid never leaves donor countries. And the remaining 75% does not reach the recipients directly. It passes through several agencies. Each agency takes a cut, and with each cut, there's lesser accountability. Why does all of this happen? To understand that, we'll have to understand the very concept of aid. You see, international aid is not a lump sum amount. It's a bundle of a wide range of things. Some of it is money, some of it is food, some of it is debt relief, and some of it is people. That's the cost of consultants and staff who provide technical assistance. And as important as these expenditures may be, they don't result in the transfer of resources. Take the case of Timor-Leste. It's a country in Southeast Asia. It became independent in the year 1999. Since then, it has received over $5 billion in aid. Out of this, $2 billion has been spent on the UN mission alone. Bilateral donor projects have cost around $1.7 billion. UN staff get salaries 10 times more than locals here. For instance, a UN employee from Australia is paid $200,000, and this is in a country where 50% of the population makes less than $2 a day. Do you get the point? International aid is not entirely what it seems. Only a trickle of what's promised gets transferred as aid. Some of it is exhausted by the agencies providing aid. Some of it reaches the recipient countries but immediately bounces back to the donors, to the pockets of the very people who promised aid. How does that happen? Thanks to a concept called tied aid. Let me explain. What they do is tie the loans to companies within donor countries. So if America is the donor, for instance, the loans are tied to American companies. And the result is this. These companies then decide how the money is spent. I'll show you more numbers. In 2012, more than 14% of bilateral aid was tied. In 2017, it was more than 15%. In 2018, it grew to over 19%. Which are the donors that tie aid? Almost all of them. The US tops the list. Released this ad. 100,000 reasons to replace the team won, but it lost. So the unsold merchandise made it brand new. Each t-shirt cost $20. That's $2 million in all. Wouldn't this money in some other form have helped more? Super Bowl t-shirts worth $2 million were not Zambia's top requirement, but they got them anyway. My point is quite simple. Aid seems to have become a continuation of colonialism. Instead of fighting inequality and eradicating poverty, it has become a lucrative medium for some in the West to expand their business. More than helping the poor, it is driven by political considerations and vested interests. Some countries don't even hesitate in hiding this fact. Like the United States of America, time and again, several US State Department officials have admitted that they consider aid a tool of US foreign policy, a means to advance American economic interests, a means to secure new markets for America, and establish governments that suit Washington's interests.
Yeah, it's an example of how there is hypocrisy in the name of philanthropy and all. Rose, I can continue this paragraph in the language of...
Yes, Prabhu. In the language of the Bhagavad Gita, 7.15, people who are engaged in the gross sense gratification are modas, asses. The ass is a symbol of stupidity. Those who simply engage in the profitless pursuit of sense gratification are worshipping avidya according to Sri Ishopanishad. And those who play the role of helping this sort of civilization in the name of educational advancements are actually doing more harm than those who are on the platform of gross sense gratification. The advancement of learning by a godless people is as dangerous as valuable jewel on the hood of a cobra. A cobra decorated with a valuable jewel is more dangerous than one not decorated. In the Haribhakti Subodhaya 3:11-12, the advancement of education by a godless people is compared to decoration on a dead body. In India, as in many other countries, some people follow the custom of leading a procession with a decorated dead body for the pleasure of the lamenting relatives. In the same way, modern civilization is a patchwork of activities meant to cover the perpetual miseries of material existence. All such activities are aimed towards sense gratification. But above the senses is the mind, and above the mind is the intelligence, and above the intelligence is the soul. Thus, the aim of real education should be self-realization, realization of the spiritual values of the soul. Any education which does not lead to such realization must be considered avidya or nescience. And to culture such nescience means to go down to the darkest region of ignorance.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So, Prabhupada is referring to this Subhashit Shloka. Durjana parihartavyaha vidyaya alankritopisin manina bhushita sarpa kimasau na bhayankara. If a so, the main thing is people are not purified and have material desires. But first, if they are poor and they have material desires, then they may be little more. It is possible they can be receptive to spiritual knowledge because they are in need of happiness. They fall in the category of artho and arthat. So it is possible they may approach God. But if people have material desires and they are educated, so then they can fulfill their material desires through no material education. So then they think we don't need God. And so that way they will become more averse to God, and they will also make others also, they will teach to others also this thing. You don't need God to become happy. You can depend on science, you can depend on economic development, etc. So that way it is more dangerous. And the modern civilization, that's what it only worries about making the body comfortable and enjoying through the body, but it neglects the soul, and it does not have solutions for the real problems of life, of birth, death, old age, and disease. Yeah. Okay, now now these are some 9 things like origin of earth and universe. So you can think about like what modern education tells about it and what Vedic education tells. So what is the difference in perspectives on origin of earth and universe, on purpose of earth? So what is the purpose of earth or material world? What are actually moral values? What is religion? What is spiritual life? All these things, goal of human life, etc. Definition of happiness. So you can take around 7 minutes and we will discuss. Maybe we'll take 1 or 2 answers for each, not more. Okay, so for the first one, someone wants to answer. So what does modern education say about origin of Earth and universe? And what does Vedic education say? Yes, Sandeep Prabhu, can tell. Yes, Prabhu, you can tell the answer.
Sorry, Prabhu, I was on mute. Prabhu, I was saying that there are various theories like Big Bang and so many other theories. So it's not at all clear, but yeah, most likely, most widely accepted is the Big Bang theory, that how this Earth has evolved. Vedic knowledge, of course, it's all the very systematically it has been explained how the Earth or the whole universe has originated from the Mahavishnu, and the whole life has come into the picture.
Yes. Okay, thank you. So the modern education does not bring God into picture, and it gives some explanation which appears very scientific, but not exactly. It is more speculative, and the Vedic education gives the proper scientific as well as God-centered explanation. Okay,
Yes.
for the second one, purpose of Earth. Okay, Sharyu Mataji. Mataji, you can answer. I think, but you should unmute yourself. I think.
Mataji, you're speaking on mute, Mataji.
I think, yeah.
You were speaking on mute, Sharyu Mataji.
Okay. Someone else can answer. Someone else wants to answer. Okay, Sandeep Pro, you can answer. Sandeep Pro, you can answer.
sorry, I think I was saying that the purpose is same in both, in a way that resources are being provided by the earth, but the at the background, the way science and scientific theories understand that it's just for the purpose of enjoyment, whereas in the Vedic version, it's completely different. These resources are provided for the serving and achieving the higher purpose, realizing the God consciousness, and these are just the facilities provided in this planet.
Yes. Yeah, so the science, so the modern education, they have a very utilitarian approach towards Earth. So they are okay if Earth becomes a junkyard, they are okay to go to
Exactly.
Moon, Mars. Whereas Vedic, it has a very sacred perspective, and it's more, it supplies the needs to pursue self-realization. Okay. Okay, what about moral values? For moral values, anyone wants to answer? Soumya Mataji, you want to answer? Third one? You can answer.
Prabhuji, I would like to add in this first and second that the modern education, they try to, remove God from everything and make everything, scientific. And the Vedic version is like they include God in everything and they give the clear understanding that it is coming from God. So that is missing in our modern education and,
Yes.
scientific theories.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Anyone for third one? Mahadev Keshav, want to answer third one?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in modern educations, they also follow the moral values, like moral values in the sense good behavior, do the work in regular means do the work in disciplined manner. Like these are the some moral values to advance in material life, to get the more sense enjoyment, to get the we means like that, follow the rules and regulations, moral values to make the more material advancement, to to have the greater sense of sense enjoyment. But in Vedic educations, to follow the moral values, giving respect to each other, giving gifts to each other, it's for to enhancing our spiritual life and it is God-centered life, and we respect each other by while centering the God in between inside that. Is our center is God, and we deal with the devotees sensitively. We do the lot of reciprocations with the devotee by centering the God, and aim is that to we have to go to the back to the God spiritual world. That is the yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now about fourth one. Okay, Jayashree Mataji, you want to tell fourth one?
Actually, role of religion in according to Vedic education is to understand the laws of Lord, and in modern education, people use it only for the self enjoyment.
Yeah, at most they say religion is some set of rules made by people. Scriptures are written by some sages to have morality in the world, and you can use it, so that gives you some happiness, like that they say. Okay, now we'll go for the seventh one. Seventh one can answer. Okay, Balraj, you want to answer seventh one? What is the reason for suffering given by modern education?
I was prepared for special life.
Okay,
I was prepared for the next one. Okay, I can try answering the reason of suffering is in the modern context. The reason of suffering is we basically say that it is because I can know the Vedic perspective. The reason of suffering is basically due to your karmas. And in the modern education, I'm actually struggling to understand like what the
So what they say it is defect. God's creation has defect, and we have to set right that defect.
Okay.
So that is the perspective they give. So that's what God has made the world in an improper way, and we know how to make it proper, and we should make it proper. So that way they give. So in essence, so modern education, they appear scientific and they appear very logical, but they are atheistic, and they propagate also materialism. And the Vedic education is more God-centered and is more spiritually oriented. So that way, modern education is more dangerous that way. Okay, Sharyu Mataji, you want to add anything?
No, Hare Krishna. Actually, I have answered for 8 and 9.
Yes, you can tell.
Definition of happiness in case of modern education is just a sense enjoyment. And in case of Vedic education, we get happiness by serving the devotees and by serving the Lord.
Okay.
And shall I told for the 9 also? Goal of human life. According to the modern education, the goal of life is just enjoy before you die. And in case of Vedic education, that give a chance to learn how to love Krishna and all.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. So modern education, in one sense, it's designed for factories. So it is aimed for producing more and more consumer of goods as well as producer of goods. So the engineers and all, they produce more goods, and they are also trained on they should consume more goods that way. Okay. Now Prabhupada talks about two specific categories of this education, which appears very Vedic, but which is very against the purpose of Vedas. Prabhu, you can read from according to Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, Prabhu. According to Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter 42 and 7th chapter 15, mistaken mundane educators are known as Vedavadarata. and Maya Aprihata Jnana. They may also be atheistic demons, the lowest of men. Those who are Vedavada Rata pose themselves as very learned in the Vedic literature, but unfortunately they are completely diverted from the purpose of the Vedas. In the Bhagavad Gita 15.15, it is said that the purpose of the Vedas is to know the personality of Godhead. But these Vedavadarata men are not at all interested in the personality of Godhead. On the contrary, they are fascinated by such fruity results as the attainment of heaven. As stated in Mantra 1, we should know that the personality of Godhead is the proprietor of everything and that we must be satisfied with our allotted portions of necessities of life. The purpose of all Vedic literature is to awaken this God consciousness in the forgetful living being, and this same process is presented in various ways in the different scriptures of the world for the understanding of a foolish mankind. Thus, the ultimate purpose of all religions is to bring one back to Godhead. But the Vedavada Ratha people, instead of realizing that the purpose of the Vedas is to revive the forgetful soul's lost relationship with the personality of Godhead, take it for granted that such side issues as the attainment of heavenly pleasure for sense gratification, the lust for which causes their main material bondage in the first place, are the ultimate end of the Vedas. Such people misguide others by misinterpreting the Vedic literature. Sometimes they even condemn the Puranas, which are the authentic Vedic explanations for laymen. The Vedavadarathas give their own explanations of the Vedas, neglecting the authority of great teachers, acharyas. They also tend to raise some unscrupulous persons from among themselves and present him as the leading exponent of the Vedic knowledge. Such Vedavadarathas are especially condemned in this mantra by the very appropriate Sanskrit quotes. Vidyayam Rataha. Vidyayam Rataha. Vidyayam refers to the study of the Vedas because the Vedas are the original of all the knowledge, Vidya. The Rataha means those engaged. Vidyayam Rataha thus means those engaged in the study of the Vedas. The so-called students of the Vedas are condemned herein because they are ignorant of the actual purpose of the Vedas on account of their disobeying the Acharyas. Such Vedavadarathas search out meanings in every word of the Vedas to suit their own purposes. They do not know that the Vedic literature is a collection of extraordinary books that can be understood only through the chain of succession. One must approach a bona fide spiritual master in order to understand the transcendental.
I will explain it and then. Okay, so so it is also described in Bhagavad Gita also about this kind of people. So mainly they think that the Vedas are only meant to perform yajnas to demigods and get sense gratification from the demigods. So Bhagavad Gita also describes about them. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanti abhipaschita Vedavada ratah partha nanyad asti vadina. So Prabhupada also took this term from here. Kamatmana Svargapara Janma Karma Falapradam Kriya Vishesha Bahulam Bhoga Ishvara Gatim Prati. Yeah, they think that this is the main goal of Vedas and they think there is no other goal and they perform very huge sacrifices for these things. So if you see Vedas, there are means the Vedas like they describe, this is just an example. So they say like if you create a water facility in a public pasture, so one will attain Gaoloka. If you dig a water facility anywhere, you will get Varuna Loka. If you dig a water facility along a road, then you can attain Indra Loka. If you dig a water facility in a desert, then you can attain Brahma Loka. So if you clean a temple pond, it's equivalent to donating 10 cows. So like that, they have different things. Then, yeah, if again, by donating different kinds of jewels, one will attain different places. So if you give Gomed, one will attain Nandanvan. So if one will give Moti, one will be released from sins. So like that again, for different things. There are one gives Vaidurya money, one will attain Surya Lok. Vajra money, then one will attain Indra Lok. So like that, again, there are different prescriptions. So if one will give gold as per one weight, so then one will, that is called Tula Purush Dan. So then one can attain, one can become the lord of the worlds in the Manvantara, and he will go to the Vishnu Lok. So like that, for different things, no, there are different things. Okay, you want this, you get this. If you want this, you do this, like this. So Vedas, like those things are there, and the Veda Vada Rathas, they say Vedas are only meant for this. So it's like, no, it's like an Amazon only. It's like a more very refined version of Amazon. So Amazon also, you want something, you get it. And in Vedas also, there are many descriptions of Indra and other demigods enjoying these opulences. So again, it's like an Instagram. So okay, you want see how they are enjoying, and if you want that, you do this. So it's like that. They portray Vedas like that, the Veda Vadaratas. But Vedas are not exactly like that. But so this is a wrong conception of demigod worship. Demigod worship itself is not wrong, but what is the use? What is the purpose? If one thinks that demigod worship is the ultimate thing, is the ultimate goal of human life or something, so then that is wrong. But right conception of demigod worship also is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. So in the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, you be happy by this yajna sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation. So the yajnas are there. So one is to get purification of heart, one has to do that. And the secondary benefit is, if you want some material things, you can perform yajna. So the main thing is to achieve liberation. So that is an arrangement to get material things from demigods. But material things are not the ultimate thing for human beings. So that thing, the Vedavada Rathas, they don't teach. So that is the problem. Okay, Pro, we can continue. One must approach a bona fide.
One must approach a bona fide spiritual master in order to understand the transcendental message of the Vedas. That is the direction of the Mundaga Upanishad. These Vedavada Ratha people, however, have their own acharyas who are not in the chain of transcendental succession. Thus, they progress into darkest region of ignorance by misinterpreting the Vedic literature. They fall even further into ignorance than those who have no knowledge of the Vedas at all.
Yeah, so they appear very scholarly, they appear very shastric, but they are preaching in one sense materialism only. So that way they are dangerous. Now Prabhupada talks about the second class. Yes, Pro, you can read.
In the Maya Aprita Jnana class of men are self-made gods. Such men think that they themselves are God and that there is no need of worshipping any other god. They will agree to worship an ordinary man if he happens to be rich, but they will never worship the personality of Godhead. Such men, unable to recognize their own foolishness, never consider how it is that God can be entrapped by Maya, his own illusory energy. If God were ever entrapped by Maya, Maya would be more powerful than God. Such men say that God is all powerful, but they do not consider that if he is all powerful, there is possibility of his being overpowered by Maya. These self-made gods cannot answer all these questions very clearly. They simply satisfied to have become God themselves.
Yeah, Prabhupada is referring to Advaitwadis, but that we will discuss maybe in the next verse or next to next verse. Yeah, next verse we'll discuss that. So they are Manav Seva, Madhav Seva, and Daridra Narayan. So that concept Prabhupada is referring. And also this Maya Pahrita Gyanas, they speculate different philosophies of about God. So what is the truth about this world and all. So it's more about they do very fancy speculations and play of words. So maybe one example we'll see. So, so he says that God is our own making. We use him for human emancipation rather than seeing him as a supreme power which rules us. If I talk about something which is not in your present level of experience, it cannot be understood. Suppose you have never seen sunlight and you have no eyes to see sunlight. If I talk about sunlight, it does not matter in how many ways I describe it. You will not be able to grasp what it is. Anything which is not in your present level of experience cannot be understood. The only option is that you have to believe or disbelieve what I say. If you believe me, it does not get you anywhere anyway. If you disbelieve me, still it does not get you anywhere. So if you believe me, you will fool yourself because without really knowing, you will simply pretend to know. If you disbelieve me, you will destroy the possibility to know something that is not in your experience. So in this world, there are believers and non-believers, people who believe in God and people who disbelieve in God. There are people who believe in heaven and hell, and there are people who disbelieve in heaven and hell. All these people are on the same boat. All of them are going on arguing about something that they don't know. This is fundamentally because they lost the basic quality of being sincere enough to admit I don't know. So these things appear very fancy, very philosophical and all, but they are not based on the Shastra. So they appear very scholarly, they appear very philosophical. They give a show that we are hearing something very philosophical and all, but it's just fancy speculation. So that is this Maya Pahrita Gyanas. And they concoct their own ideas and all, which are not Shastric and which can also be defeated even logically also. Okay, so this is about the 9th verse. So how modern education or even Vedic education, but which is materialism at core, is more dangerous than gross gross sense gratification, which is avidya, means breaking gross sinful life. So that's what Prabhupada explained. So Vedic education, either Vedavada Rathas, demigod worship for material purposes, or speculations about God, which is Maya Pahrita Gyanas. Okay, any questions on what we discussed today? Okay, so there are no questions. Okay, in the next class, we will discuss the other 2 verses on Avidya and Vidya. Okay, so thank you very much for your participation and attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Upanishad ki jai. Thank you. Vancha kalpata.